So several people have asked me now if I could share my story, if I could explain how I got into self-improvement and all of that, so I thought I'd make a video about that, and that's what this is going to be, so stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to Tipharot. It's me, Matt here, and in this video I'm going to tell you a bit about my story of how I got into self-improvement, why I do it, and why I'm doing this whole channel and everything for that matter. So, to start with, I'm gonna preface this with the fact that I'm not gonna go into all the gory details of my life, because there's a lot of things in the past that I would like to move forward from, and so I don't want to go into too much detail. But if anyone has specific questions or whatever and wants to send them to me privately through a YouTube private message, I'd be happy to fill in any of the details. But in short, my life was pretty awesome, as anyone's. I was having fun, I was exploring things, I was learning about the mind, I was learning about myself as I was growing up, and it came to a point where I ran into some obstacles, and those obstacles were namely that I went into massive excess, partying all the time. I built up a huge variety of addictions. I basically just hit my personal rock bottom. Everything kind of spiraled out of control, and as far as I was aware, I was lost, I was out of it, I had no kind of way of getting back on track. And all of this kind of sent me to a point that I would liken to the first stage of alchemy, calcination, where you're basically, the metal or whatever you're working with is burned down to just the ash, the very little bit that's left after it's been burnt. And that was me. I had hit my rock bottom. I was at the very base of what was left of me. But from that, I kind of saw, cheesy as it sounds, I kind of saw the light, so to speak. I saw a way out. I saw that this wasn't what I wanted for myself. I wanted something different with my life. I actually wanted something good from my life. And I made a kind of declaration to myself that I was going to focus on the more spiritual side of my life. I wanted to focus on my meditations that I do each day. I wanted to focus on getting to know myself spiritually, on exploring my mind, on introspection, on all of that I'd been into years before, but I'd never kind of explored to its fullest. I'd put aside for the sake of my own kind of personal, instant gratification kind of chase that I was going on. And I made this kind of declaration that I was going to do that, and I was going to have to put all of this rubbish behind me. So I did that, and I started on that path, and that was only, just over a year ago. That was only just over a year ago when I was, just coming out of my rock bottom. And over that time, the start of it, my progress was kind of slow. I was, of course, feeling a million times better because I'd put a lot of, addictions and negative stuff behind me. But, it was very slow, my initial self-improvement journey. It was more, I was kind of getting rid of all the old and getting rid of all the rubbish, cleaning it out so I could start afresh. So then I spent, the next few months kind of repairing, the damage I'd done, so to speak. I was, getting my body back healthier. I was putting on weight because I was quite underweight at the time. I was, resolving my financial situation. And, I was deciding kind of what I want to do with my life. And the thing is, I started meditating every day. I started working on myself every day. I made a kind of commitment to improve myself every day, basically. I saw how quickly my life had gone from good to, complete rubbish just by me kind of slacking a little and not paying attention to the fact that I need to be improving constantly. And so I made the decision that now I have to improve constantly. Now I have to always be working on myself. And by doing that, by making that decision, by starting to meditate every day, by starting to work on myself every day, and focusing on becoming better, and by doing that, it was like something kind of unlocked inside of me. Something that kind of hadn't been there before. As much as I regret some of the bad things that I've, gone through, I also have to thank them because in a way they created who I am today. They kind of, it's the whole saying, what doesn't kill me makes me stronger. It really was a bit like that for me, and by seeing, how bad things can get and coming out of that and realising I could overcome things that I never imagined that I could possibly overcome, it gave me this inner strength, this kind of will to succeed. And since then, I've basically been riding on that. I've been going forward with that, and I've been working on improving myself, and it's gone from, trying to repair the damage done to then, starting to build something. And then it's gone from starting to build something to, actually, being happy all the time and having an awesome life and things getting better every day and even more awesome. And, there was a point when I was like, wow, this is really important to me. This is what I want to do with my life. I want to keep improving and I want to help others to improve. And I've mentioned before that, I had a English teaching job for a short period. It wasn't a very long-lasting job because I didn't really enjoy teaching English that much. But when I was teaching English, I realised that I could teach people. I realised that was a skill that I had. I didn't particularly enjoy, teaching English, but I enjoyed teaching. And so now that I realised that this whole self-improvement thing, this working on myself, bettering myself thing was so important to me, I thought, well, why don't I teach this? Why don't I actually teach the thing that has completely turned my life around and brought me from, the worst of my life to the best of it in under a year? And why don't I try that? And that was where, the initial idea for this channel and all of this came from. And it was then eventually, a video that I saw by Infinite Waters. He's talking about YouTube and his YouTube experience and that, and it kind of solidified that yes, I made the right decision. This is what I want to do. Let's do it. And at that point, I bought a microphone, the next day or something like that. I ordered it, and within a few days, I had made my first video, the lucid dreaming video, which is now the most popular video on my channel. So thank you, Infinite Waters, for the inspiration to actually go ahead and do it in the end. And I have to thank all the people around me for helping me through tough times and helping me find that part of myself. So yeah, that's been a bit about my story, and my journey in self-improvement really didn't start that long ago. I know some people have been asking me how many years I've been doing it or whatever, but it's not been that long. It's only been just over a year, and before that I was complete opposite of this. I didn't work on myself at all. But I mean, to me, that's a testament to myself that a lot can be accomplished in a short time. If you could get a glimpse into my life just a year and a half ago, and then a glimpse of my life now, you would just, you wouldn't be able to correlate the two. It just would look like two completely different lives. And so yeah, a lot can be accomplished in a short time. And I want you guys to think about that, because if you're somewhere, in a dark place in your life, if you feel like things aren't going well, don't feel like that's going to last forever, and don't be surprised if that dark place ends up being the fuel that actually gets you to success later on, the fuel that actually inspires you to work on yourself and to make yourself stronger. Don't, get stuck in the mindset that you're never going to get better, that things aren't going to get better, because they do. And, I'm an example of that, and you can be too. And if you are, in a good place already, then you can get to an even better place, because the thing is, getting, repairing damage done and stuff like that, it can take a lot of your time up. And the thing is, I know in the, the next year or the year after that, I'm going to improve even more, because now I'm just working forward from a positive ground. Now I'm in a really positive place, and anything I build now is just more good that comes on top of that. So if you're in a great place already, then in a year you can accomplish a lot. You just have to put the work in, you have to take action, and you have to make it happen. So yeah, that's been a little bit about my story. I know I said I would get this story out sooner than that. I've just, I've had a lot on my mind that I wanted to put out in other videos, the Mind Mastery series with my Lucid Dreaming audio course and all of that. So yeah, that's been my little story. And just as a bit of a further note, I do plan to actually make more videos at some point talking more about this journey and, the little events that occurred along the way, because there's been lots of kind of turning points and realizations and things like that I had. I do recommend checking out my Big Magic Success Story video, as I called it. It was one of the pivotal moments for me, because there was a point where I was kind of seeing that, what my inner world looked like, what my mind looked like, what my beliefs looked like, and how I kind of directed my will was potentially affecting, my circumstances. And I wasn't really sure about it, and that event kind of took me to realizing that I did have some kind of influence on my circumstances, more than just being a kind of passive observer being dragged along by the flow. That was quite a turning point for me, and there's going to be other events that I talk about in future videos, so yeah, stay tuned for that. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed the story, and I hope this kind of inspires some of you who might be not in the best place right now, that you can get out of it, you can get to an awesome place, and you can do so in quite a short amount of time. You just have to be determined, set your intention to do that, and work really hard. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, remember to subscribe up there because we've got regular videos that come out every Wednesday and Saturday. If you like the video, leave a thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions or want to share your own story, do so in the comments below. And if you want to keep watching, check out the video that's linked on screen. Take care, guys.